Hello, it's week 14 and I haven't sent you a video for a while, so I thought I'd send you a video just to remind you that I'm out here and I'm paying attention to what's happening. And a lot of wonderful conversation happening on the discussion board. Last week we had our presentation on Geronimo, and no one has ever done a presentation on Geronimo, so that was kind of interesting to me. And combining it with coaching was particularly interesting because, as many of you said in the discussion board, Geronimo was leading a band of people to, I think, to have revenge against the death of his family. Um, and, in order to get these people to all agree, he had to, you know, be persuasive and be able to get them to do what he wanted to do. Um, and that's some people thought he was more of a Machiavellian style of leader because he used great force to be able to do what he had to do, whereas it wasn't a lot of collaboration and cooperation like when we talked about the Incas, where how their tribes, how their growth happened is because there was collaboration. They would take over meet with these other civilizations, and they would say, we're not going to change the way you do things. We just are going to all kind of come together. We can do trade, we can protect each other. And it was more of a collaborative effort as opposed to conquer. And Geronimo was a bit more of a conqueror. But anyhow, coaching was very interesting. I hope you enjoyed the video on Coach K. It was great to see how timely it was given the Final Four, and there he was. And I liked some of the comments. Giorgio said that as he was watching the game, how intense Coach K was, and even though he's won quite a few games, it was like this was the game that he wanted to win more than any other game. And that was so evident that it kind of gave energy to his players to win. And I did find it interesting that here Wisconsin, my team, was ahead almost the entire game. And then at the end, that one guy, Allen, he just got on fire, and he was from Duke, and he was unbeatable. And he brought so much energy into the game that the rest of the Duke players, they were hard to keep up with. So that was great, and I hope you enjoyed um, learning about coaching as leadership, because as a leader, you have to be able to mold the people within your group, and you have to find ways to be able to provide feedback, critical feedback sometimes, in a nurturing way to help build the person to be who they need to be able to meet the role that you're trying to accomplish um, as the leader of the group. So that's a very important skill, and that whole emotional intelligence, which we talked about in the very beginning, never goes away. That is a critical skill to build no matter what you're going to do in your life. It's important for relationships, business, personal, a family. It's the key to being able to read people and get along. So this week we talk about authentic leadership. And one of the things that struck me about authentic leadership, because I read the chapters every single time I teach this course and I get something new out of it, and it was learning from your life story. And I was thinking of my own life story and what kind of a leader. I've always been sort of a leader. I was class president in high school. I was involved in things in college. I was the leading junior reporter for one of the news stations. I mean, I've always been, an assertive leadership type of person. But one of the things that I realize is how my leadership style has evolved, where I think I was a bit more abrupt when I was younger because I was very aggressive, wanting to get ahead. And now I realize as a leader that I am today that I have more of a collaborative style. I still want to achieve the outcome, but I take a different approach. And I realize that it's not about me, it's about the mission. And that egoless approach has, evolved as I have evolved as a person. So, think about where you have traveled, no matter what your age group is, but you have a story and you have had experiences that shape how you behave and who you become. And that means that your leadership style will change as well. So I hope you enjoy. This week we have religious leaders, and we talk about religious leaders and leadership, and authentic leadership, true to yourself, real passion. So I think you'll enjoy the presentation. And lastly, I want to just talk about our classwork. I have to say I'm a little disappointed because the participation in the discussion board has dropped. And for those of you that are participating, I mean, I have the loyal folks who go every week and are making sure that they read the presentations. I know who you are. But for you folks who are kind of coming and going, you're cheating yourself and you're cheating the other folks in the class. So I want to encourage, there's only a couple more weeks to get involved. Community event 2 is due if you haven't given it to me. And lastly, the blogging. It's been, the blogs that I've read so far have been just very energizing and, very connecting with the material, which has been really great. However, I've gone to some people's blogs and they have nothing, or they haven't done anything since February. And then there are people who are trying to respond to their partners where their partner doesn't even have a blog up or has done nothing, or they respond and they don't get any feedback back, or they don't see their responses. Well, they might not, somebody might respond to a blog, but unless the owner of the blog accepts that comment, that response doesn't get shown. So the blogging is an important part of critically thinking about the material as to how it was important for you. And like I say, there were 7 requirements, 7 posts that you were supposed to make in the final reflection. So please blog, and please respond to your partner's comments, and also comment your partner, because that is a great way to A, to have a connection with somebody, and B, to learn. So that's all I have for now. I hope you have a great week. It's a beautiful spring day, and we will be talking to each other in the virtual world. Bye-bye.